What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Catch-Up right here on DKTV. So let's start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. That's right, just hit you with a Sound of Music reference. Boom! Quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers had another great game, but once again, it was too good. That's right, they benched him again. I had Aaron Rodgers on one of my teams. That's why I want to institute to DraftKings the awesome bonus. The way this would work is if your player gets benched for being too awesome, you get a 10-point bonus. I think that would spice things up. You know, can you imagine that? You're watching the game and then you're like, oh man, they're going to take him out. They're going to take him out. They're taking him out. They take him out. They took him out. He's on the bench. He's on the bench. They took him out. Oh, they took him out. Oh. It's almost as if these coaches are more concerned about the players' health and well-being and not so much about our fantasy teams. Selfish. Jay Cutler was 1% owned this weekend, as he well should be, but he decided to play football. 10% of you thought it would be a great idea to start RG Nee this weekend. That was a bad idea. He then proceeded to throw his teammates under the bus and blame them for his bad play in what I can only call a passive-aggressive mini crybaby session. Most of your high-dollar quarterbacks this weekend had kind of a rough one with the exception of Aaron Rodgers, but like I said, they benched him. The Manning brothers had a tough time. Eli Manning was named the most valuable player for the 49ers, completing 5 passes to them. Peyton Manning had a bad game as well, for Peyton at least. I blame Eli for this. I think I got a good sense of how this went down. I think there was a phone call and it went something like this. Hey, what's going on, Peyton? Hey, little brother, what's going on, Eli? Look, you know how Dad is always saying that you're like the better son and he wishes you never had me? Yeah, and how you're a disgrace to the family? Yep. Yeah, well, no, I was hoping maybe you could like give me some tips on how I can play better or something this weekend. Oh, of course, brother, a couple tips. You just need better ingredients, you know? Better ingredients, better pizza. Okay, man, could you not do that? What don't you want me to do? Well, I get it. You have commercials. Everybody loves you. You don't have endorsement deals. Well, could you at least maybe try to throw some interceptions this weekend? Now, why would you want me to do that? Because, man, I'm probably going to end up throwing like 4 or 5, and if you throw a couple, then maybe Dad won't call me after the game and tell me to change my last name. Dad really does that? Yeah, he does it every week. All right, I'll see what I can do, buddy. Running backs. Jonas Gray? Who is Jonas Gray? I call shenanigans. 0.6% of people own Jonas Gray. I mean, 0.6% owned? Shane Vereen was 11% owned. You know what that means? That means that the general consensus was that he was going to get the ball. I think the 0.6% of the people that owned Jonas Gray were like his friends and family. Like, he called them up and was like, hey, they're going to give me the ball a bunch this weekend, and they immediately signed up for DraftKings and entered the tournament. Jamal Charles had a great day, but at only 4.7% owned, obviously a lot of people thought he wouldn't, me being one of them. Matt Forte had a huge day, but with such a high price tag, only 5.1% of you could figure out a way to field him. But a guy like Frank Gore at 14% owned should have annihilated the Giants defense, but that didn't happen. Wide receivers. It was a wide receiver free-for-all this weekend. Hell, even J.J. Watt got a tick on the stat sheet. Your big baller last week was Mike Evans scoring 42.9 points. I mean, the Redskins are bad. I know they're bad. I'm from the D.C. area. I know they're terrible, but I didn't think they'd be that terrible. The Redskins are really, really bad. Redskins, what's the protocol? Can I even say that? I mean, it's still their team name, but I don't want to get any letters. Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey were on the receiving end of Jay Cutler's miracle game. And both A.J. Green and Randall Cobb posted games big enough to keep you in the money. The biggest heartbreak for me personally, and I'm sure many of you as well, was Emmanuel Sanders. He was having a great day. He was going to continue to have a great day. That's before McLeod Jr. decided to ruin him. Now, we can argue all day about whether or not the hit was clean, but regardless of whether it was a clean hit or not, there's an unspoken rule in the NFL. If the wide receiver is leaping at a 45-degree angle to catch the ball, don't destroy him. It's a bad day when you start a play here and end up here. Tight ends. Kobe Fleener was your big point scorer and a sneaky one at that. At 0.7% owned, he might have been the difference in your day. Rob Gronkowski yelled and gestured and made all kinds of movements on his way to the end zone. But at $7,900 and 22% owned, he did not pay off his price point at all. You'd have been better off with a Jermaine Gresham, who although he only had 2 receptions, they were both for touchdowns. Defense. 32.9% of you were dead wrong about Denver. I've never seen a defense that highly owned. Now, I was lucky enough to not be on the Broncos, but not lucky enough to be on the Packers. And this Packers defense is really... Let me explain. I was doing very well. I was in 100th place and I still had players to go in the Monday night game. And all of a sudden the Packers start scoring all kinds of defensive touchdowns. 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, and the last one really stuck in my craw. Jump on the ball, Sanchez! What are you doing? Jump on it! And as that Green Bay Packer just trotted into the end zone, I put my head in my hands and went, no! It's ridiculous. I can't even, and that's one of the reasons why Aaron Rodgers got benched, because the defense was scoring points, and just, you know what, it's too soon. I don't want to talk about it. I'm still dealing with Now this show has always been about looking back at the previous week, but we want to see if we can help you with the upcoming week. The tight end position is one of the hardest to pick and can make or break your team. So with that in mind, we have a new segment on our show. Let's go ahead and throw this over to Carrie and her tight end.
Thanks, Chris. Hi guys, I'm Carrie, and this is my tight end. We all know that Gronk and Jimmy Graham know how to work the tight end position, but their matchups this week aren't as favorable as some of their lower-priced counterparts. And with Julius Thomas questionable this week, you're going to have to pivot to another option to fill that void. That's why this week I like Colby Fleener. Dwayne Allen tweaked his ankle last week, so there'll be many opportunities for Fleener to explode this weekend. And at only $5,200, he won't break your bank. I'm Carrie, and that's my tight end.
Best segment ever. And now it's time for everyone's favorite segment prior to that last one, Try Again. The segment where we crown the biggest loser. The envelope, please. Thank you very much. And the winner is Bruce Zero. He had a really terrible team. Look at this.
It's terrible.
That's really bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, on paper, it doesn't look so bad, but they didn't perform. You got Drew Brees, Ellington, Oliver, Deshaun Jackson. That's a Redskin. You like the Redskins, right?
Love them.
Love the Redskins. So yeah, Bruce Zero, your team was awful. So go check your account, courtesy of DraftKings and the Catch-Up. We went ahead and put a ticket in there for you for the next Millionaire Tournament. Try again. So that's my show this week, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching.